I love MindBody, but it's not go high level. The two are the most powerful things that any fitness owner, any studio owner can absolutely use, though. You just got to get them to talk to each other.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I am joined once again by Jordan Abaroa. He's the CEO of Artichoke Automation, who are the creators of Autogration and their new MB Sync product, which integrates HighLevel with MindBody. Jordan, thanks so much for coming back on.
Yeah, no, we love it. We're super excited. Thanks for having us.
So the last time you were on, the MindBody integration with HighLevel, which if you're watching, you don't know what that is. MindBody is a popular software that a lot of, what would you say, gyms, yoga studios, businesses like that use.
Yep.
And it's basically, a lot of them use it because it's a POS system as well, right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. It can handle inventory. It can handle scheduling of classes. It can handle, it's a super, super powerful tool to be able to run a effective studio, whether that's fitness, gyms, yoga, personal training. Super, super powerful tool.
Cool. Yeah. It's a big name in the space. And for a long time, high-level users would be frustrated because when you try to sell a business that's using MindBody, they're pretty cemented in it. And so they want to hear that you can integrate with it. And so this integration has been a long time in the works. And when we last spoke, it was in beta. Since then, you guys have come out of beta. I'm sure you've learned a ton of lessons along the way. And so we're ready for an update.
Yeah. Oh, no, I love it. Yeah. The tool is absolutely amazing. It really is a game changer. And the whole premise of how we even built the tool itself, originally, Chad, who is an amazing developer and my partner, and we came together working with a common client who had MindBody and had Go High Level and was having human beings be the transfer of data back and forth. And it just wasn't a sustainable solution. And so we came in, tag teamed this, and built an integration to allow them to talk to each other. So basically, you could talk to the right person at the right time and in the right place. And you didn't have to have a human being involved. And so it's absolutely amazing. And the last time we were on, we were in beta, and we learned an absolute ton from everything. I mean, it was, you get in there and you build this integration for one client, and then you start using it for everybody else. And you start to gain these aha moments of, oh, maybe I should have known that beforehand, but I'm really glad we know it now. And the tool now, just to give you kind of an update, it is fully out of beta, fully functional. It's got calendar sync, schedule in MindBody, schedule in HighLevel, and vice versa, two-way contact syncing. It's got purchase actions. So if somebody purchases in MindBody, we can apply a tag. And just like we said last time, if you know the power of HighLevel and what it can do, all of these things, a calendar appointment being confirmed, tags being applied, you can do anything and everything inside of HighLevel with it. So we're fully out of beta, learned a ton. It's been an awesome road so far.
That's great. So again, if you're going to go into the studio space, it's super important to know that you can integrate MindBody with HighLevel now, as that is probably going to be the deciding factor between a lot of for a lot of those studios. So talk to me about what else you've learned. I think you've learned not just about the MindBody and the integration, but it sounds like you've learned a lot about HighLevel and the way that agencies are using it, maybe not utilizing it to its fullest potential, agencies trying to go into SaaS mode. Talk to me about what you've learned from our customers.
Yeah, it's been like I said, and it's just been such a learning environment for us as we've gotten into this. Legitimately, I remember sitting back when we're developing this tool going, this is going to blow up. This is going to be absolutely amazing. And it still will, and it's going to be awesome. And we've got a lot of clients in it, but every single person that we've talked to is an agency owner, not a studio owner. They're agency owners who are out there trying to work with their clients. They are the experts in the space about how to lead generation or SEO or sales conversations, or even just systems and operations for gyms. And we've come in and it's been game changers for them. We've had, multiple stories about how, if we weren't there, then they would have lost a client and all of these different things that are there. But what we learned though, through that process was this product is amazing for agency owners, but most agency owners are only using about 10% of HighLevel. So we'd get in and we'd start working with our clients and would go, hey, here's the sync, here's how it works. And then inevitably within a day or two, they'd go, okay, this is really cool. I think I have it set up. I'm seeing it in the calendars, but now what do I do with it? And we'd go, oh, okay, this is a good conversation to have. So we actually got in the habit of developing our own snapshot and pushing it into people's accounts and creating workflows and creating triggers and creating events to happen inside of HighLevel so that our clients could be successful with their clients. And what we realize is that the main answer, the key that these agency owners, they have to have, they've got to be, in order to maintain, to keep their clients all happy, they've got to develop into a SaaS company. Whether they say they are or aren't, they've got to be that way, since they're providing the software, they're providing HighLevel on the back end. They've got to develop into a SaaS company. And there's so much to learn about how to do that. And I think one of the big lessons that we've learned with people is transforming from an agency to a SaaS company. It's just freaking hard.
And I mean, we obviously completely agree that every agency should be thinking about this pivot. I'm curious to hear the feedback you've been getting when you try to push an agency that you're working with that you found because they needed this integration. And then you are like, hey, you guys should really consider this new model here. Are people afraid, intimidated? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think they're eager, but they are reluctant. Like I think about just, we live in Dallas, Texas, Six Flags is right there. And I see my son get really kind of excited before he's about to go on a ride. But then as he gets closer and closer, he gets a little bit more nervous as he approaches it. That's what I see in these agency owners. They're excited about the potential and the possibility, but the closer they get to it, the more nervous they get too. And I think there's three main things that I've learned through this process about agency owners. And really, it's about why transforming from agency to SaaS company is so hard. The first lesson that I've learned is this, and it comes from the Bible. You can't freaking serve two masters. I don't think they say freaking in the Bible, but they say you can't serve two masters, right? And here's what I've learned with that. The reason why, as they approach SaaS more and more, that they get nervous is because they're deterring their energy and effort into creating something new, which is taking away from their current agency. You can't, you run into a situation where you're trying to make money with what you've normally done and how it's been successful. And as an agency owner, I've been there myself. It's a rat race. You're constantly trying to look for new clients. You're constantly in this churn. And so your nerves and emotions are in that too. Well, now somebody says, go do SaaS. And you get excited about the potential and the opportunity because we all know, agency owners, like we all know that a SaaS company, higher profit margin, less churn, it just is a better model, but it's so different than what we've already done. And so you can't serve two masters, and you start to split time and start to really get nervous about it. But when push come to shove, the revenue generator has always been one thing. And so how do you split it back and forth? The next thing I learned was you literally don't know what you don't know. SaaS companies are totally different. They're structured different. Their back-end finances look different. Everything looks different about a SaaS company. And so you can get excited about what it is. But then when you go start approaching it, it's different. And I've been in this game for a long time, and I've worked with companies that have tried to go SaaS, tried to develop their own SaaS. And like, that's one of the reasons why I almost feel like we're all lucky enough to kind of be in Willy Wonka for a little bit. We've all been given the golden ticket by HighLevel to actually be a SaaS. We don't have to go develop it ourselves. Power in what we got. But the key with it though is it's so different than what we've already set up and what we've already established. It's so different. And you literally don't know what you don't know. One, in the SaaS company, but two, in Go HighLevel. You've spent so much time being really good at SEO. You've been really good at copywriting and ad agencies and all of these different things. Now we're getting into developing, programming, structuring out a software tool that has every bells and whistles that you could want and you could need, but you don't know what button actually gets you there. And so you don't know what you don't know. And then the third thing, and this is actually the most important, I think, for me, is you have to redefine SaaS. SaaS cannot stand for software as a solution or software as a service. It can't stand for that. Because if it does, all you're really doing is you're reselling somebody else's thing. And so people don't stick. People don't stay with you, right? They'll go from, I've seen people, I worked with somebody legitimately who I said, hey, you need to go get HighLevel. You've got to go get HighLevel. It's an amazing tool. You've got to go do it. They went and they were like, oh, it actually turns out I already have it in the form of another agency who white labeled it.
Right.
But there was nothing else that they gave them. They just white labeled HighLevel. And because of it, within a month or two, the person was like, hey, can I just actually go get HighLevel instead? Mm-hmm. And so what I realized was SaaS has to stand for something different. And there's 4 main areas that really breaks down to. And it just so happens that we've redefined SaaS. SaaS stands for strategy. You've got to know what you're giving to people. There's got to be something more than just the features. You're giving them strategy, whether that's in the form of workflows, whether that's in the form of a course behind it. Something has to be there that is just bigger and lives bigger and more beyond than just themselves. And it's more powerful in what it is. You're giving them some sort of strategy. It also has to include architecture. And for me, I like to consider myself an architect, especially a software architect. Architecture is taking the complex and simplifying it down to where it's actually consumable. Mm-hmm. If you just deliver strategy, you become a course guru and a coach. But if you never architect that into, which is our 4th one, automation, then you'll never become a SaaS company. Can you take the complicated strategy, break it down, simplify it, and actually develop it into automations, powerful automations that deliver the right message to the right person at the right time? That is where the power really comes in. And then the last part of this, right? Strategy, architecture, automation, it's support. Inevitably, when somebody's using your software, right? And Chase, you probably know this being at HighLevel, somebody's using it at 3 a.m. in the morning, period. Somebody's using it then. And if they're going to have a question, if you don't have a solution for them to be able to find the answer or ask the question, frustrations go out the roof. So you've got to be able to have those 4 things and be able to provide them for them, or you'll never actually become a SaaS company. You'll just resell white labeled stuff, but you'll never become a SaaS company if you can't have strategy, architecture, automations, and support.
That's really interesting. I love how you've reworked the acronym. I think we would say that we completely agree, right? So we started out SaaS mode because it's software and you're going to sell it as a service, but you're 100% right? Like you would never want to just literally white label HighLevel and then throw up a pricing page and have people sign up and expect that they're just going to find success, right? Like that's not going to happen. And that's not what we want to happen. And that's why when we see the argument, well, what happens when everybody finds out that everybody's using HighLevel? Like we're all selling the same thing. And our response is, you're not at all. Like we think of HighLevel internally as an operating system, right? And it's like, you go build your apps on top of it. Now, in this case, you're sort of building your system on top of it, right? So it's a combination of everything you just said: strategy, architecture, automation, all of that unique to how you do things. Right. And that's the nuances of it are what makes everything different face value, but also why you can charge more than most SaaS apps charge, right? Like you can't go into the market expecting to sell against a MailChimp that costs $20 a month because, one, you can't afford to support anyone at $20 a month, like you said, right? And 2, you're going to provide way more than MailChimp does. And so that's why I love, and it sounds like we're on the same lane here. When you talk to people, experienced HighLevel users, you always learn something, right? I always pick up little details, little tricks that people do, that wording that they put into their automations, strategies about automations, right? Do you leverage positive, negative intent to start a conversation before you send a book link? Do you not? There are all these different strategies and mindsets and tactics that have been proven in all sorts of different ways. And that's the magic of it, right? It's different for every industry. So you talk to somebody who uses HighLevel in one industry, you're going to learn a lot of things. different things from somebody that's using HighLevel in another industry. And so I think you're on the money there. And once you kind of wrap your head around that, you feel way more confident selling it at a much higher price point, right? Because it's not just access to a software, it's access to a bigger world. It's a system. It's all these things in one. And so I think you're dead on. And so then the challenge becomes, well, how do you figure out what you don't know, right? How do you pick up all, if you don't run a podcast where like me, where I get to interview all of you guys, like how do you pick up on all the little tricks and strategies that people are utilizing?
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm a big analogy guy. My wife had a vision for our fireplace. We moved into a house in Dallas. She had a vision for a fireplace, and it was going to look, it was going to look beautiful. It looked great on Pinterest. Let me put it that way. And she said,
doesn't everything?
She said, all right, Jordan, like, let's go. And I've been down this road or two. Like I was not going to be another Pinterest fail. I just wasn't. So I went and found an expert. I went and found somebody who has just been there, done that, who has been able to do it. And guess what? It looks beautiful and it looks just like Pinterest. And guess what the most important thing was for me that it saved though? It saved time and energy. Because I believe there's 3 currencies of life. There is time, energy, and money. And the job is going to cost what it costs. For us to do our fireplace, it costs, X amount of dollars. Well, I could either pay that X amount of dollars, or I could invest my time and energy to be able to go do it. The cost is the cost, and I'm going to pay it in some form of currency. And so when we don't know what we don't know, I remember, I think it was Neil Patel or somebody I was listening to that said, if you have a problem, but you have money, you don't have a problem, right? It's called investing. And so you go do that. And I know full well, I've been in different shoes in my life where I have a lot more time and energy than I do money. Okay, great. Sure. Well, I'm going the DIY route, and I'm going to learn it and I'm going to invest that time and energy. But if you're trying to speed things up, then you just go find an expert and you invest the dollars for what is going to return on the back end. I mean, if you can actually transform your agency, which has an average churn rate of about 3 months, into a SaaS company, which is so much longer and so much more, you develop into a SaaS company that also provides the service, your superpower of what it is. Now you become something totally different. You become something that can last, and you build a tribe around it. And you become somebody who can stake a claim in your industry and in that market that lasts forever. And that's a powerful, powerful thing. But like you said, you don't know what you don't know. So you go find somebody who does. And this has been a huge reflecting experience for me. I used to work at an agency where what I did, I found gurus, and we worked in the platform in Infusionsoft. I found gurus. We broke down their strategy. We built out automations for them. Then we would go help them launch it and turn around and deliver that for each of these gurus. We called it I called it Playmakers. I thought it was kind of a fun name, but it was our automated platforms that we delivered out to people. And so I realized through this process, oh wait, I know what I'm doing. I've done this with other gurus. I've done this with other experts in a lot of different industries and a lot of markets. So I've actually started just taking people on and helping them transform their agency into a SaaS company. And we've built a whole program that walks people through the development of their strategy, not only in what their launch strategy is and how to sell it, but also in what their snapshots should include. What should their left menu look like? What are our clients allowed to do? How do we get somebody from the time that they purchase this new software to their first dollar? That is the most important time. And how do we make sure we onboard them, train them, document them? It's the whole infrastructure behind what you do that will help them, like I said, from that purchase to that first dollar, and how impactful that becomes. And so we've designed that out with a foundation, a build, and a launch phase that will allow people to work through it. And it's been awesome. We've got a couple of people in it right now who are right in the middle of launching. And it's just been super awesome and super fulfilling, because I love agency owners. Agency owners to me are the action takers. They're the ones.
Yeah, they're the key piece. I mean, we've always felt that way. They're the crucial ingredient that makes it all work. And I want to point something out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you'll agree with me here. I don't want agency owners to panic thinking you need to completely shift to become a SaaS agency and you're no longer going to offer your services. No, 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 no. What we're talking about is doing a pivot, right? We're pivoting not to software as a solution, but something like your acronym that's a hybrid approach, right?
Correct.
And I think what's been resonating in a lot of conversations I've been having lately is SaaS is such a quick win that it's often this bridge to the services that you're traditionally offering that take a couple of weeks to get going, right? If you're an ads agency, you know it takes a couple of weeks to build a campaign, right? Now, HighLevel has made that quicker with snapshots and everything, but there's still a ramp up time where they're waiting around, especially, you know this if you're offering SEO, right? But when you implement a lot of the features in a SaaS mode, that stuff starts firing right away, right? Like you turn on GMB messaging, they're probably going to get some messages coming off Google Maps and stuff right away. And they're like, well, this is great. Like it's like an instant hit of dopamine relief, all that kind of stuff that like, wow, I just sent those guys $3,500 and like the next day I'm seeing things happen. That's a much different world than, hey, wait around for 3 to 6 weeks while we get this all, you know, ramping up.
Totally.
And so I want to just reiterate that it's not a total 180. It's just sort of like a 45-degree pivot, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the key with that though is what you're doing is you're not shifting and abandoning what you've already done. You're creating something new that incorporates your superpower into it.
Yes. And that synergy is what's the magic, right?
Yep. That's the key, because what I've seen with people is when you can come in and you can say, hey, listen, what you want is more leads. I got you. Don't worry about that. We'll turn on Google My Business. We'll turn on a chat feature. We'll get you Facebook Messenger. We'll get you this amazing list reactivation campaign. I got you. Don't worry about it. That's what you want. What you actually need though is a new website, like you're combining your superpower with this software that skyrockets your value, not only your perceived value, but your actual value to everybody that's out there. And now you can present yourself and say, hey, we're $3,000 a month, but here's what actually comes with it. And there's so, like you said before, there's so much confidence behind it. You're no longer positioned as an agency. You're a software company that provides a superpower behind it that can skyrocket people's businesses.
And that's why I love when we talk about the synergy. I feel like it makes it so easy to sell. It makes the sales a lot easier because when you're talking about the results that you're going to drive and you get them, you know, on board with that, then it's like, look, a lot of what powers our results is our software.
Yes.
And in the past, it was like, the truth was a lot of what powers this is a bunch of other softwares, right?
Yep.
And that's not really, there's no brand value for you in that conversation. But when you're saying our software, it changes a lot of things. And it really gives you, sorry, my dog's going crazy. I don't know if you can hear him, but it gives you the opportunity to really cement a client for much longer. And we know that's the ultimate goal, which is to reduce churn, right? And so I love it. We love the fact that you guys are out there going deep and helping people make this sort of transition, this pivot. Let me ask you a question, going back to MindBody, because this popped into my head. Do you feel like because you guys have built this integration, you could literally just go start picking off studios? Because odds are most of them use MindBody, and you could just start walking into them and being like, you use MindBody, right? Okay, great. You need to work with me. Let me show you why.
Yeah, it's 100% what it is. And that's what we've found. Like, when we came into this, I was thinking we're going to go get millions of
bananas, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Millions of people. And then the first people that came to us were agency owners. So these realizations happened pretty quick. And what I realized is you're already talking to these people. You're already selling them. Let me just give you the tools necessary, not only from the NBC Sync, but also on HighLevel to be successful. And so it is absolutely, hey, go walk into a gym. Like if you know that person uses MindBody, it should be a sell. I mean, it should be a no-brainer, because like I've been there and I have no affiliation with MindBody. I love MindBody, but it's not Go HighLevel. The two are the most powerful things that any fitness owner, any studio owner can absolutely use though. You just got to get them to talk to each other. But now that you have that, now that you've got that capability, you walk into any gym and you say, hey, you using MindBody? Yeah, cool. Like, we need to talk. I'm about to change your life. And here's how. And you just outline it. And to your point exactly, you don't say, I've found a tool called Go HighLevel. You say, I've got a software that will change your life. Here's what it's called. And it's your agency's name.
And are you guys now, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are offering way more than just the integration now. So are you guys coaching people? Are you giving people the sales script? Can you tell me what to say when I walk in and confirm that they're using MindBody? And it's like, okay, great. You know, when this happens in MindBody, imagine if that then happened. Is that where you guys are going?
That is where we're going. So we still have the MindBody sync. So anybody that's out there that still needs to work with their clients and can make that connection, we absolutely have it. And it's pretty freaking awesome. Like it really is. But we also have the ability to get people to transform from an agency into a SaaS company. And it includes the back-end architecture, right? So that's where I try to come in and help people out. Okay, what snapshots do we need? Let's go get this built out. Let's configure the SaaS configurator. We've got Chad as a developer that can help make some connections and syncs. But we've also brought in a guru marketer who is amazing he was actually a fitness studio owner. And so he knows exactly what to say to these people, to say, hey, I've got something for you. Here's how this works. Here's how this happens. Here's how this connects. He was one of our beta clients who came in from MB Sync. And he was like, well, there's something here. Let's figure out how we can actually get this to other agency owners and how we can make this thing work. And so we can absolutely do all that stuff. It's part of a program. We call it the Artichoke accelerator program. And it's pretty awesome.
So people that are interested in that, is the AutoGration domain not where they should go? Do you have an Artichoke URL that they should hit?
We do. Yeah. We've got one that I can send you the link, or we can paste it somewhere, but if they're interested in it, right now we're taking 5 people on, only 5. We want to make sure that we provide the best service possible. And because it's pretty hands-on, we're literally meeting with them, providing workshops, walking them through the whole process. We only take 5 people at a time. So we're taking 5 people right now. And I can send you a link if anyone's interested and wants to know more about it, or wants to know more about kind of the stages or anything like that, then yeah, absolutely. I can send you a link.
Okay, cool. We'll be sure to put it in the description and in the post and whatnot. That's pretty cool. So you do it in like cohorts of 5?
Yep. We do it in cohorts of 5. Right now it's one-on-one though. So it's not a group training. So it's not like, if anybody's sitting there like, I don't want to do like a group, like, no, this is a one-to-one, but we just know that we can provide the best service if it's a cohort of 5, and then we provide the one-on-one service with it. And so like in our first phase, so we've got 4 foundations, or 4 phases that we walk people through. The 4 phases that you've got to have. And anybody that's wanting to do this, like, by all means, run with this yourself, but you've got to have a foundation phase. And this is a strategy development phase. So we actually include multiple workshops in there where we sit down and we're mapping out, what are all the snapshots you need? What is all of the campaigns? And I am a simple-minded person. I'm a football coach by trade. I want to keep things simple. So it's not all the snapshots that you need in life that will make you feel really good. It's no, what do your clients need to be successful? What are those snapshots? Then we talk about what other tools need to be included in this. That's where MB Sync comes in. So you fitness studios, okay, great. Let's make sure that that's included in here. We talk about your launch strategy. How do we go through that? And we develop that in one of our workshops. We develop also messaging and voice, because we've got a copywriter who can actually write the copy in template form so that your clients can just turn around and make it. We then also talk about how we're going to deliver and support the software program. And so we strategize in our foundation phase. We then move right into our build phase, where we're building out all the white labeled assets. We're building out the Zapier integration. We're building out the mobile white labels. So we handle all of that in the build phase. The launch assets that need to be created. And then we actually walk people through once we move into the launch phase, we stay with them for 2 weeks, so that while they're launching, we're there to support them as they bring on new clients, new assets. All of those are there. We're there to support them and actually create the accounts, show them how to support, show them how to onboard people, show them really how to get from purchase to first dollar as fast as possible.
That's awesome. I mean, we are so excited to have people like you in the community that help people, sort of Sherpa people into this new land of sort of SaaS and service hybrid. And so definitely we can't recommend it strongly enough. If you believe in what we believe, that this pivot is going to be necessary if you want to survive in the agency world over the next few years, or maybe it's not that extreme, but you know that churn is a major problem for your agency because it's a problem for all agencies, but you're kind of not sure where to start when it comes to SaaS mode, which a lot of people still are. I talk to people every day that are kind of like, I keep hearing about it. People are excited about it. I don't get it. What is it?
Yeah.
We've got folks like Jordan in the community that can help you get you to the other side and not have to go through the learning curve yourself.
Yep. And if I can say just even maybe one last
Sure.
thing about why it's so powerful. Here's why it's powerful. And I apologize, I'm getting choked up here. I got 3 knuckleheads and 1 on the way. Agency is hard on them. I've spent a lot of sleepless nights trying to make things happen for my clients, time deadlines, trying to make things, and I'm grinding and I'm stressed and I'm nervous and I'm worried about how to put food on the table because I just lost a client. The most important and powerful thing that any of us as entrepreneurs, agency owners, business owners can develop into is a present, powerful entrepreneur, a present at the dinner table. Why becoming SaaS is so important is because you become a reliable, systematic, predictable business to where you can turn off at 3 p.m. if you need to. You could turn off at 5, right? You get to determine what that is, but you can turn off knowing that your clients are being taken care of. They have the strategy. They've got the support. They've got the architecture, the automations. They're taken care of. They're running with it. You're no longer worried about putting food on the table. You can now be present at the dinner table. That's why, to me, SaaS becomes so important. Yes, there's margin. Yes, there's scalability. All of that is there, but you get something back, which for me is the most important. The 3 currencies of life. I get back when I become SaaS. When you become SaaS, you get back money, absolutely, but time and energy being the most important things.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's totally true and relatable. And I can remember, I would also say, if you've got clients that just love to talk to you, like even if they're doing well, they just need to find something to sort of bring up and pick you at. We've had a bunch of those clients, right? I'm sure you guys can all relate.
Yeah.
Once you get them going, once in our experience, when we implemented HighLevel, before I even worked for HighLevel, once we got all the automations running, they just didn't have time to do that anymore, right? Yeah. They were like so flooded with business that they were kind of drowning, trying to keep up with the success that we were delivering them. And like you said, when that happens, you get your time back. Yes. Your phone is not blowing up constantly from clients that want to talk to you because the wheels are in motion and things are just happening. And so absolutely leveraging the power of SaaS and being properly compensated for it.
Correct.
That's what it's all about. It's stabilizing your agency. And that's what we're so excited about. So, absolutely. I mean, Jordan, man, thank you so much for coming back on. We are thrilled that you guys have come out of beta with the integration, but even more thrilled, to be honest, that you guys are now helping people make the pivot that we all believe in so much.
Yeah, thank you. And it's just been awesome journey, awesome road. It's, I want to take a little time snap between when we talked first to now and everything that we've learned. So thank you guys, really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Likewise. And thanks everybody for watching. We will see you on the next one.